Hare Krishna. So, welcoming all the devotees for this today's discussion. So, I was wondering, as God Purnima is approaching in the next few days, what should be our discussion? And as far as I could try my best, I realized I am not a prolific speaker, not charismatic presenter. So, I just thought that we want to discuss about Lord Chaitanya, and already there are lots of pictures, especially of His Holiness Radharani Swami Maharaj, on the various pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, from his appearance, pre-appearance, birth, appearance, and then childhood pastimes, and then sannyas lila. So many times in Mayapur Yatras, Maharaj has spoken on the Lord's various pastimes, including the philosophy. So in general, in the yatras, about 1 hour, 1.5 hours will be philosophy, and then Maharaj will begin with the pastimes, which are very nicely narrated. So at the same time, I don't have that much of purity and serenity to deliver it with that kind of clarity. So I thought, in order to do justice to this service, will just go through the literature, and there are three literatures, specifically lots of literatures which are written on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but specifically three. And first one is Chaitanya Mangala, Chaitanya Bhagavata, and then there is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Bhagavata was written in the beginning, which was known previously as Chaitanya Mangal. Then, because Chaitanya Mangal came of Lochand Das Thakur, then Chaitanya Bhagavat was the new name to the Chaitanya Mangal of Vrindavan Das Thakur, which is currently known as Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita was presented, by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, um, and that was given, the highest. I mean, actually, Chaitanya Bhagavat is the highest that way, if you see, um, because Chaitanya Bhagavat was written by Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is known as the Vyasdeva of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. At the same time, when Srila Prabhupada had to translate, the pastimes and narrations of Lord Chaitanya, he chose Chaitanya Charitamrita over Chaitanya Bhagavat. The reason being, Chaitanya Charitamrita is having lots of philosophy, in between the pastimes, which is very much important for the people, fallen people of this age. So, and Chaitanya Bhagavat is little difficult for the new audience to appreciate and accept. The reason being, it is very, it is just boldly glorifying the, kind of uh, the the greatness of the Lord Chaitanya. And this greatness of Lord Chaitanya for the new reader of Kali Yuga, Lord Krishna is difficult, Lord Chaitanya is like incomprehensible. So that becomes all the more tough. That's the reason, Srila Prabhupada, when he wanted to give to the world Lord Chaitanya, he chose Chaitanya Charitamrita instead of Chaitanya Bhagavata. Yet, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, by default, Chaitanya, um, Chaitanya, our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he glorifies Chaitanya Bhagavat. So if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita in itself, there are lots and lots of pastimes are, can open it, people will get confused. Lots and lots of pastimes are kind of, yeah, that much is good. So lots of pastimes are kind of, kind of available for Lord, for kind of pre-sannyas. Lots of pastimes are just spoken, not when he did not go into details. He did not go into details saying that, oh, as Vrindavan Das Thakur has already explained, I would not um, dare, to actually speak on this, because that will be Maryada Vyatikarma. So saying like this, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami kind of skips or very shortly describes such pastimes. In fact, one of the famous pastimes, which is known as the Madhayi Uddharan Lila, is not there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, and many more pastimes like that. It's not there because he says, I will, because I am very, very old and I am going to, anytime I may die. So I don't have capacity and energy. So I'll just, kind of go fast and discuss post sannyas lila, because pre sannyas lila, she where Vrindavan Das Thakur has very detailed, and he explained it in great details. But post sannyas, he went to ecstasy, so he just could not explain. So this is the reason I will take that responsibility to explain post sannyas lila, and that's how Chaitanya Charitamrita is. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we begin, so there are the first 14 verses are the basis of the first 7 chapters. So we will just recite once and then we will go ahead. So before beginning this, I will take blessings of all the acharyas to serve Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's very highest literature PhD, and we are going through the Adi Leela, the summary. So it's quite um, intense. So we'll recite the texts 1 to 14, and then we will go ahead. I'll describe one by one all of that. Not all of that, most of that. So text 1 of Adi Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. वंदे गुरु ईश भक्तान ईशामीशावतारकान तत्प्रकाशं सचत्शक्ति कृष्ण चैतन्य संज्ञकम् वंदे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंदौ सहोदितौ गौड़वंदौ सहो गौड़वंदौ पुष्प गौड़द गौड़दये पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौ सन्दौ समौतनौ चित्रौ सन्दौ तमो नदौ. So these two verses is like, this is known as the invocation. So before beginning Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, so before beginning any literature, there is something called as the invocation. So he is doing the invocation, and that is what is given in this 14 verses. So this first 2 verses is about, I offer my respectful obeisances to Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan. Guru means spiritual masters. He does not say Guru. I am not offering my obeisances to my Guru. He says I am offering obeisances to Gurus. Gurun. That means all the spiritual masters. So the first chapter, that's why, is named as the spiritual master. Okay. So if you have a soft copy of CC, at least you can go through. So if not hard copy. So first is online, also it is a Veda based dio. So spiritual masters. So first is Gurun, then Isha Bhaktan, that means devotees of Lord Krishna, Isha. Then third is Isha Avatarakan, that means unto the Supreme Lord, that means Lord Krishna himself, primeval Lord. And Isha Avatara, that means all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. Then Tat Prakashan, unto the manifestations of the Lord, and Tat Shakti, unto the various potencies of the Lord, and Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Samachakam. So the name of that Lord, the primeval Lord, is Shri Krishna Chaitanya. So I offer obeisances to this 5 potencies. Number 1 is spiritual masters. Number 2 is Bhakta, devotee. Number 3 is all the incarnations, all the plenary portions. his energy, and 6, the Lord himself, okay, whose name is Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Then Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Next verse is beginning from where the previous verse ended. Offer my respectful obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Then Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, also to Nityananda. Sahodatav, who has who are like, who have arisen like sun and moon. Uditav, uditav मतलब उदित होना, उदित यानी कि प्रकाशमान होना. Saho means साथ में. Then Gauda Uday, they have arisen in the eastern horizon. Sun and moon both rise on the eastern and west. Moon कहाँ से उगता है? हाँ? ई से ही उगता है. Moon ई से ही उगता है. Do that research. Moon also rises visibly, rises from the east whenever it is visible, because one of the 30 days it is not visible. Whatever days it is visible, it is rising in the east only. It goes from east to west only, like that. No? So they have risen on the east, that means Gauda. And why have they risen? Chitrao, they are wonderful. Why? Because Tamo Nudo, all the Tamo Nudo, all the darkness has been dissipated with the sun and the moon rise. And along with that, Samudao, they are bestowing benediction upon everyone. Yadvait, how to recite this verse? Yadvaitam Brahma Pashanadi Tadappi Yasya Tanubha. No, that's not the meter. What is the meter? Let us try this one. Yadvaitam Brahma Pashanadi Tadappi Yasya Tanubha. This is also not the meter. Okay, this is also not the meter. But basically, this particular verse is all about Brahma, then Purusha. You see the words here. You're able to see Advaitam Brahma. Able to see that? Then next line you can see Antaryami Purusha. Dekha? Then next verse you can see Purna Ya Iha Bhagavan Sa Swayam Ayam. So the first verse is about, first line is about Brahman, second is about Paramatma, third is about Bhagavan. Then Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Paraptatvam Param Iha. So that Lord Chaitanya is the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. So what the Upanishad describes as impersonal Brahman and super soul, they are, impersonal Brahman is effulgence of his body, nothing more than effulgence, and super soul is nothing but a localized plenary portion of the Lord. But that original supreme Lord Krishna is the same Chaitanya. That is the third verse. Fourth verse, Anarpitam charim, ये भी एक अनार्पित चरिम चिरात् करुणयावतीर्ण कलौ समर्पयितमुन्नतोज्ज्वलरसं स्वभक्तिश्रियम् हरिपुरत सुंदर द्वितिकदम्ब संदीपितः सदा हृदय कंदरे स्फुरतु वः सचीनन्दनः. So this verse is the very important verse, which is something that is not given any time till date, that is being awarded now, right? So this is very special. Anarpita charim chirat, for a long time this is anarpita, never been bestowed. This kind of mercy has not been bestowed. Okay, you're able to see now? Online Bhakta Vrinda.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So Anarpitam Charim Cherat Karunaya Avatirna Kalau. So this is the special Anarpita, that which has not been awarded before in this age, not in this age, in the previous, for long time. Charim Chirat. Chirat means long time. That which was not awarded. So no other incarnation has offered this before. And that too, it is being offered in this age of Kali, in this age of Kali. So why is he giving that which was never offered before? जो पहले कभी नहीं दिया गया था, वो अभी क्यों दिया जा रहा है? करुणावतीर्ण, out of causeless mercy, mercifully appearance of the Lord. Avatirna, so he is mercifully appearing and giving it, offering it. Then Samarpaitum Unnatojvalah. What is he offering? Samarpaitum, he is offering Unnata Ujjvala Rasa. That means most elevated, Unnata Ujjvala Rasa, most elevated mellow of devotional service. And Swabhakti Shriyam, offering the bhakti, pure devotional service unto himself, the mellow of conjugal love. Hari Purat Sundara Dviti Kadamba Sandipitaha. So it's like Hari Purata Dviti Sandipitaha. So he is like, how is his form? His form is like molten gold. That is his resplendent with molten gold. Sada Hridaya Kandare. So what is my prayer? May in my heart, Lord Sachinandanaha, Sfuratavaha. May you kindly reside, transcendently situated in my Hridaya Kandara. Kandara matlab inner gufa, inner chambers. So let you be there in my inner chambers, not kachara. So in our inner chambers currently, what is there? Lust, anger, greed, useless thoughts, illusion. But here is a prayer. We are requesting, oh Lord Chaitanya, you please enter inside the inner chambers of our heart and kindly illuminize this. So this is one of the reasons for Lord Chaitanya's advent, and this is also the Ashirvad. This particular verse is invoking blessings for the readers. The previous verse, first is first verse, first two verse was Easter Dev Namaskara. That means obeisances unto worshipful deities, spiritual masters, devotee, Lord, incarnations, manifestation, expansion, internal potencies, and the Lord Himself. Second and third was Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, Nityananda Sahotitav. And the third verse was, what is the reason this book was being written? The book is being written that, okay, there is Brahman, there is Paramatma, there is Bhagavan, but there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is Bhagavan complete, and that he is having all the opulence. So you just focus on that. This is the purpose of this book. If anyone says Krishna is not Chaitanya, Chaitanya is not Krishna, no, don't go ahead. ये आपके लिए नहीं है. So this book is meant for, what is the purpose of this book? Objective and substance of this book is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Okay. And time and again, this will be re-emphasized, that any one of you who is not believing on the past times, so there will be lots of chastisement coming up by Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Please log this. Next verse. राधा कृष्ण प्रणय विकृतिर लादिनी शक्तिरस्मात् एकत्मानम् अपि भुवि पुरा देहभेदं गतौ तौ चैतन्याखं प्रकटमधुरा तद्वयं जैकमाप्तम् राधा भावद्वति सुललितं नौमि कृष्ण स्वरूपम्. So what is the prime most important reason for Lord Chaitanya to appear? क्यों आए हैं चैतन्य? Why is Chaitanya Charitamrita being written? उससे पहले why is that? What is the purpose of Lord Chaitanya's advent? That is most important purpose is prime reason of God Lord Chaitanya's advent. That is Gaura Tattva. This is the Gaura Tattva verse. This verse talks about what is the Tattva of this verse. So what is that? That Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir. So Radha and Krishna, they are combined into one Gaura. So Radha and Krishna are combined into Gaura. So Radha and Krishna are the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestation of Lord's internal Radhini potency. And Radhini Shakti Rasman. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir. So Radha and Krishna are having Pranaya, love, loving affairs, Vikritir. So that is Hladini Shakti Rasma. That is coming not from the external potency. If a boy and a girl love each other, that is useless external potency. Ends up in nothing but dirty events. Nothing great about it. Dirty, third class, faltu, chi, thu. But when there is Radha and Krishna Pranaya, that is highest internal potency of the Lord. Hladini Shakti. Ekat manam abhipuripuva. So both of them, although they are one in their identity, deha bhedam gatavatau. They are having two different deha. They are having two. They have separated themselves externally. Now Chaitanyakam prakata adhuna. Now these two identities are again united. Tadvayam chakyamaptam. They have again combined together as Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Radha Bhava Dvati Svavaritam. So that Krishna, he has taken the bhava, the mood of Radharani. Naumi Krishna, so इनको मुझे Naumi, pranam hai. I bow down to him who manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion. Two things Krishna has taken from Radhika. What are the two things? The mood and the color. The complexion. Radha Dyuti. Radha Dyuti is what? Golden color. That's Gauranga. Gaura Anga. Like that. Now, what are the three? There are three internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance and three external reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. So, what are the three internal reasons? Text number 6 talks about that. This is the prime reason for Lord Chaitanya's advent. Prime reason is these three internal reasons, and there are three external reasons. The external reasons will come a little later. So, three internal reasons. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanaviya.
Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanaviya.
Swadhyo Yena Adbhuta Madhurima Kidrisho Vamadhiya. Saukyam Chasam Madan Bhavata Kidrisham Veti Lobha. Tadbhavadya Samajani Sachi Garbha Sindhu Harindu. So Tadbhavadya. So with this emotions, Samajani, that means he appeared. Who? Sachi Garbha, the one who appeared in the womb of Shachi Devi. That means mother of Lord Chaitanya. Sindho, ocean. Hari Indu. Sindho, Hari Indu. So Hari Indu means moon like Hari, moon like Krishna has appeared in the ocean of the womb of Mother Sachi. समझा? क्यों? Because of the three reasons, जो कि पहले की 3 लाइन्स में बोला गया. पहला लाइन क्या है? श्री राधाय प्रणय महिमा किदृशो. किदृशो मतलब कैसा है ये? आई डोंट नो. क्या है ये? व्हाट इज द महिमा ऑफ राधा प्रणय? व्हाट इज द ग्लोरी ऑफ राधा रानी's love? I don't know. So Krishna knows everything, but he does not know these 3 things. That's why he is coming as Chaitanya. So because Krishna does not know, he appears as Lord Chaitanya. So first thing he does not know is what? He has to experience it. That's the hidden glory of the whole thing. So what is that first thing? That Shri Radhaya Pranay Mahima. क्या है भैया महिमा? What is the glory of Radhaya Pranay? That is the first thing, first question. Then next is Swadhyayo yena adbhuta madhurima. That what is this wonderful quality, adbhuta madhurima, that wonderful quality, swadhyo yena adbhuta, that she relishes, aswadan karti hai wo. So what are the wonderful quality in Krishna which Radharani relishes? So because Krishna cannot understand his own quality, he has to take the form of Lord Chaitanya, taking the mood of Srimati Radhika to understand Krishna himself. क्या समझे? Krishna does not know what is the glory of his own quality, what wonderful quality is in him, which Radharani relishes through her love. So for understanding this, Krishna comes in that mood of Srimati Radharani and the complexion of Srimati Radharani as Lord Chaitanya to experience what is the relish, how does Radharani relishes his qualities, Krishna's qualities. So Krishna कोई नहीं समझ रहा उनके quality कितना amazing है. That's the reason Krishna is appearing again as Lord Chaitanya. Second reason. And third reason, Saukhyam chasya mad anubhavatah kidrisham veti lobhat. So what kind of happiness she feels when she realizes sweetness of his love? So he is not able to understand what kind of happiness, usko kaise, how she feels so happy. So if Krishna is there and his devotees are dancing, chanting, feasting, are leading a happy life. So Krishna is actually unable to understand how are they feeling so happy, what kind of relish are they feeling in my devotion. This is the reason Krishna appears, especially Radharani's, love, devotion, and her relish. So Krishna is wanting to understand the glory of Radharani's love. Krishna is wanting to understand what is that which she relishes. She alone relishes, not that all the devotees. She alone relishes in his quality, in him. उनके अंदर में ऐसा क्या है जिसको कि राधा रानी इतना रिलिश करती है. और तीसरा है कि कैसा सुख वो प्राप्त कर रही है उनसे सेवा करके. She realizes the sweetness of his love. So these are the three reasons, three internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya's advent. What are the three external reasons? So three external reasons of Lord Chaitanya's appearance is given in the third chapter. Yeah, third chapter. So three external reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance in Kali Yuga is mentioned in third chapter, text number 14, 19, 26, 110. So the first external reason for Krishna to appear as Lord Chaitanya is to inaugurate the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga. That is, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kelam, kalor nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyatha. So to inaugurate the Nama Sankirtan, Lord Chaitanya appears. That is the first external reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Next external reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance is to bestow Vraja Bhakti, that Vraj Prema which is not available otherwise. So any other incarnation or even Lord Krishna himself did not give ever Vraj Prema, which is the highest of the Prema. So Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, has come in, be conscious, Lord Krishna, who is Krishna, sit properly. Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, has come in the mood of Radharani, but that is for internal purposes. But externally, he has come to establish Yuga Dharma and to give Vraja Bhakti, which was never given. That's the reason Anarpita Charim Chirat. And then third is Because Advaitacharya has called, Anjuli Matra, just little bit of water, Ganga Jal, and put Tulsi on a Shaligram Shila, and loudly, he was calling, like a lion, he was doing Garjan for invoking the presence of the Lord. So to respond to Advaitacharya's appeal, so Lord Chaitanya comes. So these are the three external reasons. What is the first external reason? Second external reason. Second external reason. Second external reason. व्रज प्रेम. व्रज प्रेम देने के लिए आए. Third external reason. To respond to Advaitacharya's appeal. संकर्षण कर्ण तोयशायी गर्भोदशायी च पयोधिशायी शेषश्च यस्यास्म शेषश्च यस्यां स कलह स नित्य अंधाख्य राम शरणं ममस्तु. So this particular text 7 as well as chapter number 5 is in great details talking about the glories of Nityananda, Lord Nityananda. Sankarshana Karana Toyashai. So Sankarshana, Nityananda Ram, he is the object of my constant remembrance, right? So first is Sankarshana, Seshanaga, the Vishnus, the plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions, all of them are, they are I want them to be the constant object for my remembrance, that way. So the next 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 verses talks about what is all of this. Sankarshana, then there is Karana Dakshai Vishnu, Amsha, then Amsha, then Amsha, then Kala. Kala. Etesa, Chakala, Pumsa. Kala means parts of plenary portion. So there is Lord Sankarshana, then there is his Amsha. So that Amsha is Karana Dakshai Vishnu, right? Mahavishnu. And then Amsha is the Amsha of Karana Dakshai Vishnu. So Amsha. That is what? Garva Dakshai Vishnu. Then there is Amsha. That is what? Sero Dakshai Vishnu. Then there is Amsha, matlab to the power 4. Amsha. That is Shesha. So instead of saying Amsha, we are saying Kala. Any problem? No problem. So the source of all of that is Sankarshana. Source of Sankarshana is Nityananda Ram or Balaram, same. So that is the next 4 verses. So which we will thus not read because we want to focus on Lord Chaitanya today. So this we had discussed in great details about when we had discussed Nityananda Prabhu's appearance. Then 12th and 13th verse talks about Advaita Tattva. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Maya Yad Srijatyadaha Tasyavatara Evayam Advaitacharya Ishwaraha. So Advaitacharya is the incarnation of who? Shiro Karana Dakshai Vishnu, Mahavishnu. And what is the main function of Mahavishnu? To create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. Through the actions of Maya. So why is Advaitacharya known as Advaitacharya? That is given in the next verse. Advaitam Harid Advaita Acharyam Bhakti Samshana Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaitacharya Mashraye. So why is Advaita Acharya called as Advaita? Because he is not different from Hari. Hari Advaita. That's why Advaita means Hari. Advaita. That's why he is known as Advaita. The Supreme Lord, इसलिए वो उनसे अद्वितीय हैं, इसलिए वो अद्वैत हैं. That is text number 13. Right? Then Acharyam Bhakti Samshanat. So he is why is he called as Acharya? Because he propagates the cult of bhakti. Propagate करते हैं, जो बांटता है वो आचार्य. That's why he is known as Advaita Acharya. Then Bhaktavataram Isham Tam. He is the Lord and Bhakta Avataram. He is the incarnation of Lord's devotee. Isham. Bhaktavataram Isham. So he is Lord and also Bhakta Avatar also. तो सब combo factor है ना. Therefore, I take shelter of him. Hari bol. अभी details of this verse will be discussed in the whole one chapter. ये जो एक वर्स है, 2 वर्स है, 12-13, इसके ऊपर में पूरा एक चैप्टर है, चैप्टर नंबर 6, राइट, ऑफ दिस आदि लीला. सिमिलरली जो प्रीवियस वर्सेस थे 7 to 11, इसके ऊपर एक चैप्टर है, चैप्टर नंबर 5. वेरी गुड. वैसे ही उसके प्रीवियस जो चैप्टर 2 वर्सेस हैं, दैट मीन्स वर्स नंबर 5 and 6, उसके ऊपर पूरा एक चैप्टर है, दैट इज चैप्टर नंबर 4. वाह, आपको तो सब पता है. वैसे ही उसके पहले जो है, दैट इज वर्स नंबर 4, उसके ऊपर एक चैप्टर है, वर्स नंबर 4, अनार्पिता चरिमचरात. हाँ, वर्स नंबर 4 पे एक चैप्टर है. कौन सा चैप्टर है? हाँ, 3. वेरी गुड. एंड देन वर्स नंबर 3 पे भी एक चैप्टर है, वस्तु निर्देश. दैट इज विच चैप्टर? हाँ, सेकंड चैप्टर. एंड सिमिलरली जो वर्स नंबर 1 है और वर्स नंबर 2 है, उसके ऊपर भी एक चैप्टर है. कौन सा चैप्टर है? हाँ, नो, फर्स्ट चैप्टर ओनली. सो फर्स्ट चैप्टर में ये पूरा आई मीन काइंड ऑफ इन्वोकेशन करने के बाद में ही गोज इनटू वन एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ दिस वन डे, क्योंकि इष्ट देव नमस्कार है ना ये. फर्स्ट एंड 2 चैप्टर, फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड वर्सेस इष्ट देव नमस्कार. सो इज ऑफरिंग ओबेसेंसेस टू ऑल दिस 6 + 2 8. उन सबको प्रणाम कर रहे हैं. तो इसीलिए पूरा कुछ रेस्ट ऑफ फर्स्ट चैप्टर is the details of the first verse. Second chapter is details of the third verse. Third chapter is details of the fourth verse. Fifth chapter is details of fifth and sixth verse. And sixth chapter is detailed of 7 to 11. Seventh chapter is detailed of 12 and 13. And let us recite 14th verse. पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्. So this is a turning point in the history of spirituality, this particular verse. ठीक है, पहले there was in 1000 years back, if you remember that particular lecture, what is that known as? The legacy of love. So previously, during, I mean about 1200 years back, all the so-called Brahmanas, they were although having the knowledge, but they became corrupt. So what were corrupt means घूसखोर नहीं, corrupt means they were not doing what they were supposed to do. That's known as corruption. भ्रष्ट यानी कि बेकार, आचार यानी कि आचरण. So भ्रष्टाचार means, corruption means not only taking money for doing what you're by default supposed to do. That is one type of bhrashtachar. Bhrashtachar means the Brahmana is eating meat. That is also corruption. That is also useless. He's not doing his duty. That's known as bhrasht. Gone. So this Brahmanas, when they became corrupt, what were they doing is they were eating meat and wanting to prove through the Shastras why they should eat meat. So that was like 2500 years back happening, all this. And because of that, what happened? Buddha came. Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he was compassionate and he incarnated as Buddha and told, you should not do this. Ahimsa paramo dharma. They told, we want to do this. Why you want to do this? Because Shastra is saying, we reject the Shastras. We reject the Shastras. So then that was Buddhism. That Buddhism means zero, shunya. And 1200 years back, Ashoka Samrat, he was known as Chanda Ashoka. Chanda, ekdam cruel. So he was kind of did lots of massacre all over the whole of India. That's why it's known as the biggest area that was held by anyone, in the past. The world in modern history is by Alexander. That's why he's known as Alexander the Great. And then in the uh, primeval history, in history has been divided in three parts, right? Ancient and then medieval and then modern. So ancient history में सबसे बड़ा जो इंडिया सबकॉन्टिनेंट का हिस्सा पकड़ा था वो that was Ashoka. That's why he's also known as Ashoka the Great. And later on in the medieval history, who was having the highest? Akbar. He is also sometimes known as Akbar the Great. Now India टूट चुका है बहुत ज़्यादा. But anyways, something is happening out there. Be conscious. So, so Buddhism kind of spread under the what is that? Sword, edge of the sword of Chandashoka. He accepted Buddhism after Kalinga War, after killing many people. So he thought this is too much of violence, so I will take to Buddhism, become non-violent. But in order to have his word being accepted, he wanted everyone to kind of he wanted everyone to follow what? Buddhism. Because in the history, it is very well seen and understood that lords, practically all, so religion is used for political purposes. So now also it is happening, but people who are thoughtless, they don't understand this and they kind of are unable to appreciate this as a fact. Religion, since history, whatever is known, is being used by the modern people. Before Sanatana Dharma, there was only one as such religion. But whatever, so many religions are there today. So that history has proved that it has been used. Religion has been regularly used for what? For political purposes, to just ensure that the political systems are growing and people, because they have faith, so if you pull them into some particular faith, then your political power also kind of grows because you have to rule them only. So that's how Chandakashoku started converting, and after that came Shankaracharya. Lord sent Lord Shiva, told you do the needful. So he came as Shankaracharya and started spreading monism. He told everything is one. What is that called? Soham. या फिर okay, whatever. Everything is one ultimately. So no, that's not Nirvisheshwa. This is Mayavad. So he started spreading Mayavad, and when he spread Mayavad, Then he just kept on, he just lived for 32 years. And within that 32 years, he did such a big, because he's empowered, representative of the Lord. What is the difference between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu? When there is, yeah, Brahma Samhita talks about milk and yogurt, but the difference between Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu is, if Lord Vishnu is not in touch with the material energy, and when Lord comes in touch with material energy, is Lord Shiva, and Lord is not in touch with material energy, Lord Vishnu. That's it. So there is no difference, yet they are not equal. This is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. So you will see Lord Chaitanya also has presented pastimes in which he is sometimes Sab Avatara Sara Shiromani. He is like having all the avatars, and all the avatars pastimes are there in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And thus he is also having the avatars of having the mode of Lord Shiva, including Lord Brahma, Lord is not Brahma, Balaram and other. But he is also having certain pastimes in which he is like taking on the mode of Lord Shiva, Mahesha. Okay, so after that, what happened? Who came? Shankaracharya. He gave monism and drove away all the Buddhists out from India. They were out beyond the Himalayas. That means out from the subcontinent. They went to Tibet and started taking shelter there and started preaching out there, and went from there to all those Cambodia, Vietnam, and all that stuff. This was 1000 years back. Now, of course, we see how Lord Chaitanya goes to South India Yatra, and there in Kerala somewhere he meets this Buddhist also, and the Buddhist, their leader, he tries to give Lord Chaitanya lunch prasad. Lunch, it's not prasad. So in that there was some flesh which was cooked and kept. So out from nowhere comes a kind of a eagle, takes that flesh, and then not that flesh, takes that plate, and then throws that plate in a way that that plate acts as a disc of Lord, and it separates the head of the Buddhist. So all the other followers, when they see this, हमारा गुरु का ही सर धड़ से अलग हो गया. They bow down to Lord Chaitanya. Oh, our offense, our offense. Then Lord Chaitanya trains them how to chant, and also revives this fellow's head back, in the sense, connects the needful, does the needful so that he's happy. They chant, they become disciples of Lord Chaitanya. So lots of pastimes are there. But yeah, so that was the Buddhists. So Buddhists are Shunyavad. They begin with zero. Then Buddhists were driven away by Shankaracharya. That is Mayavad. That is one. Everything is one. Everything merges into one. Lord and you are one. I and you are one. So all that stuff. Our disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they were once having some conference, and one Baba was telling that everything is one. So then this disciple, our Guru Das Prabhu, he told, okay, so this one thread of blanket and this blanket, is it one? He told yes. And that day it was quite cold. So then he told, okay, fine, you take this one thread and give me the blanket, because it is one. So he then was like a little taken aback, but then he has to prove his point. So then he told, okay, I'll manage with this thread. And then he went for he was like taking rest, but at midnight he came back and told, I'm feeling cold, give me that blanket. He told, hey, but it is one. Yeah, I mean, well, but okay, fine, accepted one. It is not one, it is different. So that's how we can understand it is not one. Jivatma and Paramatma, you're equating one thread with the blanket. You're equating Jiva with the Lord. You're equating small, Anu to Vibhu. So that way. So, anyways, so then came after that came Madhavacharya and Ramanujacharya. First came Ramanujacharya and Madhavacharya. So both of them propagated two. So Madhavacharya went to an extent that all the times he was having this two, and he wanted to prove this very clearly: the Jivatma and Paramatma are two different; they are never equal. That is the two. But then, so it was 0, then 1, then 2, and then comes 5. Nothing in between. What is that 5? This verse. Panchtatvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhakta Akhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Thus the Panchatattva they come and they break open the whole um, um, storehouse, treasure house of mercy, love of Krishna, and they give it to one and all. Why? What is their potency? Because they are who? They are Panchatattva, Atmakam. So Panchatattva. So first is um, Panchatattva means 5 elements. 5 elements we cannot say. Elements means potencies you can say. So first is uh, Krishna, Krishna, then Bhakta Rupa in the form of a devotee. Krishna who is non-different from his features as a devotee. That is Lord Chaitanya. Then devotional incarnation. That means Bhakta Rupa, expansion of a devotee. Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam, expansion of a devotee. That means devotee, form of a devotee, Bhakta Rupa, then Swarupakam, same person, Swarupa. That is Nityananda. Then Bhakta Avataram, incarnation of a devotee, that is Advaitacharya. Bhakta Akhyam, known as a devotee, that is Shivas Thakur. And then Bhakta Shakti, Shakti of Krishna is Ladhini. That means Gadadhar Pandit. So this is energy of the Lord. So these are the 14 verses which are the kind of invocation to the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is the first part. Then Chaitanya Charitamrita goes ahead to offer obeisances to all the presiding deities of Vrindavan. So let us recite that too. This is text 15 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila. Jaitam Surata Upanga Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvasa Padam Bhajo Radha Madana Mohana. So this is talking about Sri Radha Madan Mohan, whom we are very soon going to take darshan of. He is a Sambandha deity, and Sambandha deity means relationship with the Lord. And they were previously in Vrindavan, eventually now in Rajasthan, Jaipur, Karauli. So Madan Mohan Dev Ji, who charms the Cupid, Mohan ko bhi Madan karne wala Lord. So he is first being invoked. His worshipper is Sanatan Goswami Pad. Then Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadah Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Krishnalibhi Sevyamano Smarami. So this verse talks about Shri Radha Govinda Dev. This is the Abhideya deity. You want to practice Abhideya? Take shelter of Radha Govinda Dev. And Radha Govinda Dev, Govinda means what? The one who is pleases the senses, and go means senses and go means cows. So pleases the cows. So Radha Govind Dev Ji pleases senses and cows, and Radha Madan Mohan charms the Cupid, and Radha Gopinath is lover of the gopis. That is the Prayojana deity. So what is the meaning of this Jaitam Surata Pangor? So Jaitam Surata Pangor, that means Mamamanda मते गति ही. So I am पंगु, अपंगु हूं मैं. Then my mind is मंद, मंदमति ही, मतलब फूलिश हूं मैं. That's why I take refuge gati of mat sarvasva. My everything is there, at padam bhajo. They are my directors. And padam bhajo, that means ambuja means ambuja. What is the meaning of amba? Amba means water, है ना. And ja means जो water में उगता है. So amba ja, तो वाटर में उगने वाला क्या है, लोटस. सो पद अम्बुज मीन्स जो लोटस फीट है. सो पदम्बुज राधा मदन मोहन, राधा एंड मदन मोहन, ठीक है, उनके चरणों मेरे लिए सब कुछ है, मत सर्वस्व, ठीक है. एंड जयता मीन्स जय हो, जय हो किसको, सुरतो, मोस्ट मर्सीफुल, सुरतो, उसका दो मीनिंग कर सकता है. एक तो बहुत ही कृपालु, या फिर दूसरा रत मतलब, रति मतलब अटैचमेंट, हाईली अटैच्ड. इन व्हाट, हाईली अटैच्ड टू ईच अदर. दैट इज राधा एंड कृष्णा इन कॉन्जुगल लव. So glory to all Radha and all merciful Radha and Madan Mohan. And पंगु मम मति मंदमति, मेरा मन भी पागल है और बुद्धू है, और ना तो मैं, मेरे पास पैर है चलने को, मैं एक नंबर का नालायक हूँ. तो इसीलिए मुझे लायकी देंगे कौन, राधा मदन मोहन, उनके चरणों में मैं शरण ले रहा हूँ. दैट्स द मीनिंग ऑफ द फर्स्ट वर्स. देन दिव्य वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमादः, दैट मीन्स दिव्य मीन्स वेरी ब्राइट शाइनिंग. वृंदारण्य, आरण्य मतलब क्या होता है, जंगल. वृंदावन बोले, वृंदारण्य बोले, बात एक ही है. वन इज इक्वल्स टू आरण्य. वृंदारण्य मीन्स वृंदावन. सो पता था ये. कल्पद्रुम, कल्पद्रुम, द्रुम मीन्स ट्री, है ना. कल्पद्रुम मीन्स कल्पतरु. अध मतलब उसके नीचे, तो कल्पद्रुमाधः, तो कल्प वृक्ष के नीचे में, कहाँ पे, वृंदावन में, दिव्यात मतलब एकदम लाइट है, अंधेरा नहीं है. तो वहां पे क्या है, श्रीमद रत्नागार, तो एक बहुत ही बढ़िया मंदिर है, जो कि रत्नों से बना हुआ है, टेम्पल ऑफ ज्यूल्स. आगार मतलब घर, लेकिन यहाँ पे भगवान का घर है तो वो मंदिर है. और उसमें एक सिंहासनस्थौ, सिंहासन है, उसमें विराजमान है कौन, श्रीमद राधा, राधा रानी विराजमान है. श्री श्री गोविंद देव, और गोविंद देव जी विराजमान है. प्रेष्ठाले भी, तो उनको वो लोग क्या हो रहे हैं, दे आर बीइंग सर्व्ड, सेव्यमानो स्मरामी. तो दे आर बहुत प्रेष्ठाले भी, प्रेष्ठा का एक और कहीं पे सुना है, प्रेष्ठा, कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले, दैट मीन्स वेरी डियर. So by very confidential प्रेष्ठालिभि, dear devotees, सेवा मानो, उनका सेवा चल रहा है वहां पे, ठीक है. और उनको मैं स्मरण कर रहा हूँ. तो क्या स्मरण कर रहे हैं आप, आर यू एबल टू पिक्चराइज दिस, विजुअलाइज दिस. देयर इज दिव्य वेरी स्पार्कलिंग वृंदारण्य, वृंदावन में, कल्पद्रुमादः, बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत सारे कल्प वृक्ष हैं, उनके नीचे अधः, कौन है, श्रीमद रत्नागार, बहुत रत्नों से जड़ित बहुत बढ़िया मंदिर है. उसमें एक सिंहासन है, उसके ऊपर स्थापित है श्रीमद राधा श्रील गोविंद देव, दोनों स्थापना किए हुए हैं. और उन वो क्या हो रहे हैं वहां पे, उनका सेवा चल रहा है. कौन सेवा कर रहे हैं, प्रेष्ठाले भी, वेरी डियर डिवोटीज आर सर्विंग. तो उनको मैं स्मरण करता हूँ. दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस सेकेंड वर्ड्स. देन श्रीमान रसरसारंभी, वंशी वटः तटस्थितः, कर्षण वेणुस्वैर्गोपी, गोपीनाथाश्रयेस्तु नः. So this is the third invocation to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. And Gopinath because he is the lover of the gopis, and he is the Prayojan deity. ठीक है. So Gopinath was so what is the meaning of this verse? Shriman Rasa Rasa Arambhi. You know, who is the Arambhi? कौन आरंभ करता है? Ras is the highest mellow. तो श्रीमान, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. रास रस, रास जो है द रास डांस, उसका जो रस का आरंभ करने वाला कहाँ पे? वंशीवट. ये वंशीवट यहीं पे अपना वंशीवट के तट, वंशीवट के तट पे जो स्थित है ना. सो वंशीवट इज दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लेस वेयर गोपीनाथ, where Ras Leela happens. There are lots of places in Vrindavan, Govardhan where Ras Leela happens. One of them is Paitha. Paitha mein Krishna is Baitha. Then Shingarvat. Then there is Ras Sthali at Puchri. And there is also Ras Sthali at Vamshivata. There is also Ras Sthali at Nidhivan, at Sevakunj. So all these places are very, very confidential pastime places of the Lord. Cannot imagine how much deep are these places. It is beyond our comprehension. So the ras arambh karne wala, the originator of transcendental mellow of rasa dance, uska jo mellow, that means the mood of rasa, vamshivata tarasthitah, he is standing sthita near the vamshivata के तट के आसपास में वो खड़े हैं, है ना. एंड कर्षण वेणु स्वनेर गोपी, कर्षण मतलब आकर्षण कर रहे हैं वो. जहाँ करसती सह कृष्ण, कृष्ण का नाम कृष्ण क्यों है? क्योंकि वो अट्रैक्ट करते हैं. सो कर्षण वेणुर, हाउ डज ही अट्रैक्ट? बाय वेणु स्वनई, बाय द साउंड्स ऑफ द फ्लूट. गोपी, हु गेट्स अट्रैक्टेड? द गोपीज. सो गोपीनाथ, ऐसे गोपीनाथ को श्री, ओ श्री 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 गोपीनाथ, श्री अस्तु नः, so please confer your mercy unto us. So these are the three verses of the three deities, right? And then the core verse of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, glory to Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, glory to Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra, glory to Advaita Chandra, means Advaita Acharya. Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, all glories to all the devotees of Shri Gaura, that means Lord Chaitanya. So this is the second verse of practically all the chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita. First verse is the summary of the whole chapter, summary after and kind of core introduction to the whole chapter. And second verse is this, for sure. And the last verse is also fixed for all the chapters. What is that? Rupa Raghunath Pade. What is that? Not Rupa Raghunath. Shri Rupa Raghunath Pade Yar As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is requesting Rupa Raghunath Pade Yara As, praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Raghunath and desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. So this is the inlaid mood of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, understanding this much, we will now go into the first chapter. So the first chapter is having the 6 in 1. That means Vande Guru Isha Bhaktan Isham Ishavatarakan. This is again repeated in text number 34. You see this 34 text you see of the first chapter. So this is again the same verse. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami when he is writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's not that he just is, it is the like a Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is like a in ongoing discussion between two speakers and listeners. But Chaitanya Charitamrita is not like that. Chaitanya Charitamrita is written by a Kaviraj. Kaviraj means best of the poets. Best of the poets means he knows all the articulations, all the details, and all the ways a poetry is written. So what he is doing is, we have the Subodhini, right? Subodhini, what it does, it makes the whole reading very easy. Bodhini means to understand. Easy understanding. So what happens with Chaitanya Charitamrita? All the work of Subodhini was already done by Kaviraj Goswami. Here they have just written, how is it, but all the, kind of section making, and अभी मैं ये शुरू कर रहा हूँ, अभी मेरा ये खत्म हुआ, अभी ये वाला discussion शुरू कर रहे हैं, all that is given there as verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's how, it's made. And when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was 60, how many years old? He was 91 years old. And he says, when I am writing, my hand is shivering and it is, pus is flowing out of my pus and blood is flowing out of my fingers. And I am not able to see anything because there is cataract. And I am very old and I may die at any time. So after writing the first Adi Lila, first volume of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Anta Lila. So he is not sure if he can complete the Madhya Lila, Anta Lila at all. So what he does is, in the Adi Lila, he goes 7 chapters describing this 14 verses which we discussed now. After that, 8th chapter is, how did he take this daring of writing Chaitanya Charitamrita? So first of all, he was instructed by Lord Nityananda that you go to Vrindavan. So he got mercy. And second is, some devotees, they requested him. He gives the description of who is the devotee. His name is Haridas. He is not Haridas Thakur, Haridas Pandit. So this Haridas Pandit is the main pujari of Madan Mohan Devji Mandir. And in order to confirm that he is supposed to write, so he goes to Madan Mohan Devji Mandir, and when he goes there and he offers his obeisances, then the garland falls. He offers obeisances, I want to begin this because the Vaishnavas are instructing me. So please bless me, garland falls. So he takes this as a confirmation of Lord's, instruction to him too. Oh yes, this is the mercy of the Lord. Okay. So, that is the thing. And then he seeks the blessings of all the devotees, and many devotees, they bless him, especially Gopal Bhatta Goswami also blesses him with this star mark that you should not write my name in your book. Then I will bless you. So, it's not easy. Just try to understand and appreciate this, that how much the devotees are, not wanting glory in spite of being so glorious. I will give you blessing if you don't write my name, because they understand that in the future, the world will be reading this, but then they should hear the glories of Lord Chaitanya, but not my glories. So this is the mode. So after getting all the blessings, then he goes into the 9th chapter. So I'll go first to 7th, I'll go into details, but I'm going to 8, 9, 10. And 9th chapter, so Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami talks about the tree of devotional service, right? And the 10th and 11th and 12th chapter are the details of the 9th chapter. So he tells how the root of this tree of Lord Chaitanya, and then there is 2 trunks. One is Advaitacharya, one is Nityananda. And the whole of 9th, 10th, 11th chapter is filled with various names. So many names are there of all the various devotees. Practically there are so many branches and sub branches. There is trunk, there is branches, there is sub-branches, there is devotees from Orissa, there is devotees from Bengal, there is devotee, Odia devotee, Gaudiya devotee. Two types of devotees. So there are so many names. That is chapter number 10 and 11. So the Chaitanya tree is chapter number 9, and chapter number so the seed was Madhavendra Puri, the Lord's will was the water, Lord Chaitanya is the gardener, the plant, the tree of transcendental love of Krishna. And then so there is Paramananda Puri, the central root. Like that, he goes into that kind. First is this is the tree, which is Lord love tree of Krishna. And then there is Chaitanya tree. Chaitanya tree, the root is Lord Chaitanya. And then all the preachers, there are various branches. So the first branches, the main branches, Advaita branch, trunk. Main trunk is Advaita trunk and Nityananda trunk. Right. So a whole list of so many devotees, and practically here, Shiva's one branch is that of Shiva's. So Shiva's Thakur family. Then there is his, Shiva's Thakur. Then Rama Pandit, Shripati, Srinidhi, Malini. Then there is Narayani, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Then Gadadhar Pandit has many disciples and grand disciples. Then Vakreshwar Pandit. Then Jagadananda Pandit, Raghav Pandit, Makaradhwajakara, Damayanti, Gangadesh Pandit, Shri Acharya Pundarika, Damodar Pandit, Shankar Pandit, Sadashiv Pandit, Pradyumna Brahmachari, Pradyumna Mishra, Narayan Pandit, Shriman Pandit, Shuklambar Brahmachari, Nandanandan Acharya, Mukunda Datta, Vasudev Datta, Haridas Thakur, who is Lord Brahma, Then there is Satyaraj Khan, then Ramananda, Yadunanda, Purushottama Shankara, Vidyananda, Vaninatha Vasu, Murari Gupta, Hanumanji, then Shriman Sen, Gadadhar Das, then Puranananda, Shivananda Sen, Shriman Sen, the previous one was Shriman Sen. And Shivananda Sen has got many sons. They are Chaitanya Das, Ramdas, Karnapura, Shivallabha. So this Karnapura is Kavi Karnapura, who has written many, many books. He is the son of Shivananda Sen. And Shrikant Sen, who became little disturbed when there was kick given to Shivanand Sen for his little bit of disservice. Then Govindananda, Govindatta, Vijay Das, Krishna Das, Sridhar Kolavecha, Bhagavan Pandit, Jagdish Pandit, Hiranya Mahashay, Purushottama, Sanjay, Vanmali Pandit, Buddhimanta Khan, Garuda Pandit. So here we have 90 names here. Hari Bol. So then there is branches of Lord Chaitanya that was in Navadip, and branches of Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. So Jagannath Puri is having 37 branches. Hari Bol. So all the names are written here. Then there is also Lord Chaitanya's branches in Varanasi. That is 3. Chandrasekhar Acharya, Tapan Mishra, Raghunath Bhattacharya, Raghunath Das Goswami. Then expansions of Nityananda. So there are so many names here. So 76 names. Hari Bol. That is the 11th chapter. Whole 11th chapter is 76 names of Lord Nityananda. No, 76 names. Ram Sena, Ramchandra Kaviraj, Govinda, Sri Ranga, Mukunda, Pitambara, Madhavacharya, Damodar Das, Shankara, Mukunda, Jnana Das, Manohara, Gopala, Ramabhadra, Gauranga Das, Narasimha Chaitanya, Minaketana, Ramdas. So like that, there are lots of names. Then comes Advaitacharya as well as Gadadhar Pandit. So because Panchatattva, so everyone's. So Kamalakant Vishwas, Yadunandan Acharya, Achyutananda, Krishna Mishra, Sri Gopala. Then there are some 38 names here. Then there are also some ungrateful branches of Advaitacharya who were his sons, but they were, although there in the tree, but because they went away from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, they kind of completely got rotten. So anyone who is there in the parampara but does not follow eventually is out of the parampara. This is the proof. So this is ungrateful branches. So Advaita branch received water, but there were ungrateful branches. After the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya, some of the branches, for unfortunate reasons, deviated from his path. So they did not accept the original trunk that vitalized and maintained the entire tree. Thus, The original trunk was angry at them, and Lord Chaitanya did not sprinkle upon them the water of his mercy. Thus they gradually withered and died. There are two of the Advaitacharya's sons also who chose not to be proper followers. So what happens to the destination? Any person, a scholar, ascetic, householder, or sannyasi, without Krishna consciousness is no better than dry wood or a dead body. He is understood to be an atheist, dead while living, punishable by Yamraj after death. Hari Bol. Then there is Achyutananda, and then there is Gadadhar Pandit. He is having also many devotees who are under his branch. So there are 33 names here. And then he says, well, there are many branches and sub branches. There are many more that I have not mentioned here. All the followers of Gadadhar are great devotees. And then he says the Falashruti, which you will not get because you did not hear. But in essence, Falashruti, that simply by remembering the names of all these branches, sub branches, tree trunks, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, one attains three things. Number one, Bhava, Bandha, Vimochana, freedom from material entanglement. सिर्फ नाम सुनने से हरि बोल. Chaitanya Charana, one attains the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. Third is Vanchita Purana, all fulfillments of all desires. हरि बोल. So किसी को अगर ये चाहिए तो चैप्टर नंबर 9, 10, 11, 12 चैतन्य चरितामृत पढ़ लीजिए आदि गीला. अभी हम क्या करेंगे? We will go back and we'll go to chapter number 1. Chapter number 1 talks about these 6 things. वंदे गुरु ईशा भक्तान ईशाम ईशावतारकान तत्प्रकाशम से सत्शक्ति. तो ये 6 चीजों के बारे में डिटेल्स दिया हुआ है. तो सबसे पहला गुरु में कौन है भाई? सबसे पहले मंत्र गुरु यानी दीक्षा गुरु एंड द शिक्षा गुरुस. देयर आर शिक्षा गुरुस. Then that is the 6 Goswamis. Then he talks about the bhaktas. That is who are the bhaktas? That is Srivas Thakur and other devotees. Then Avatara, that is Advaitacharya. Then Prakasha of the Lord is Swayam Prakasha of the Lord is Nityananda Prabhu. Then Shakti of the Lord is Gadadhar Pandit because that is Radharani. And then Damodar Pandit, Jagadananda Pandit also. And then Isha is Lord Chaitanya himself. So these are the 6 personalities, and the details of all of that is given here in some extent, but basically the content is more about the Diksha Guru and the Siksha Gurus. So Diksha Guru initiating spiritual master and Siksha Guru is instructing spiritual masters. So and one very nice aspect of Kaviraj Goswami is whenever he gives one concept, he'll back it properly from Shastras. He'll do the sufficient research in the rest of the Shastras to completely give a proper backup for any new concept that he shares. So that's the reason Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with Bhagavatam shlokas, filled with lots of shlokas of Lalita. What is that? Lalita, Madhav, Vidagdha Madhav, and so on and so forth. So, so this particular portion is going into one by one into details. Bhakta, Avatara, Prakasha, and Vilasa, Vigraha, Shakti potencies, and all of that. Then the second part of this same chapter talks about the second verse, that is Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudadai Pushpavanto Chitra Sandau Samo Tamo Nidau. Tamo, to remove the darkness of this world, the Lord is appearing. So that's the reason. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, their great glory is given here. And how this particular verse is proved one by one. Tamo Nidau, because they dissipate the darkness. So the sun and moon drive away darkness. So that's how Kaitava kind of religious principles, that was cheating religious principles, have been dissuaded. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha has been dissuaded. Bhagavatam rejects that. And similarly, Moksha is also kaitava pradhana. Moksha is kaitava pradhana. That is also removed. So subha, shubha, shubha karma. That means auspicious and inauspicious activities. They are also hindering the process of bhakti. Then tamonado, by grace of Chaitanya and Nityananda, we are understanding what is highest process of devotional service and not engaging ourselves into useless activities of things which are becoming difficult for people to realize the Lord. Then Sandau, they're bestowing benediction. What is the benediction? So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they are giving. There are two types of Bhagavata. One is Srimad Bhagavatam and second is the pure devotee. So both of that is being available for one who is meeting any of these two Bhagavatas. So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda dissipating the darkness in their heart. Whoever is coming in contact with these two types of Bhagavat. That means person Bhagavat and Grantha Bhagavat. So if you just spend time hearing a person Bhagavat lectures, and if you spend time reading book Bhagavat, your all darkness of the heart will be dissipated. This is the confirmation given by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda himself. So that is next number 97, 98 of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, first chapter. So there he says, Dui Bhagavat Dvaya Diya Bhakti Rasa Tahara Hridaya Tara Prema Haya Vasa. So bestowing Bhakti Rasa by these two Bhagavatas, the Lord, that means Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are instilling the mellows of transcendental loving service into the heart of living beings, and thus they are themselves coming under the control of the devotee's love, like that. So this is Sandau, bestowing benediction to anyone who does these two things. What is that? Reading and hearing. Then Chitrao, very wonderful. The Lord is very wonderful, very kind. And what is the two wonders of Lord? Because both are brothers, they are appearing simultaneously and they illuminate the innermost depths of the heart. That is very great. And then what is the conclusion? Conclusion is, let us worship the lotus feet of these two devotees, these two lords who have come in the form of devotees. So then in the last part of this particular chapter, the first chapter, which I just summarized, so Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says the Falashwati for reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, what will you get? So he says you'll get four things. Kandibe Chittare Agyan Adi Dosh. Sorry, Khandibe. I'm sorry. Khandibe Chittare अज्ञान आदि दोष, जितने भी दोष हैं अज्ञान से शुरू होते हुए अज्ञान आदि, अज्ञान and etc. दोष, all the useless things, that will be khandive, that will be removed. So the one will be freed from all faults of अज्ञान, ignorance. Number one, ignorance गया तो प्रेम भक्ति जहां होते अविद्या विनाश चाहते. So here avidya will be removed. Then second, Krishna Gadha Prema Habe. That means you will get deep love of Krishna. Then third is Paibe Santosh. One will be satisfied. Chaitanya Charitamrita पढ़ोगे संतुष्ट रहोगे, फिर इधर उधर भागते नहीं बैठोगे. इसलिए चैतन्य चरितामृत is very very powerful shastra. जानी भी सब वस्तु सार. One will learn the essence of tattva, vastu, vastu tattva sara. So this is the first chapter. Now second chapter. समझा आपको? फर्स्ट चैप्टर खत्म भी हो गया. हरे कृष्ण. So summarizing first chapter में क्या है? So पहले तो क्या है? Obeisances है. Unto the first 14 verses is invocation. Then 3 verses is obeisances to all the 3 main deities, right? And then जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा, वो हमने देखा एक एक करके, ठीक है. उसके बाद क्या है फर्स्ट चैप्टर में? इट इज द फर्स्ट 2 वर्सेस आर डिटेल्ड डिस्क्राइब्ड, है ना. सो फर्स्ट वर्स इज डिस्क्राइब्ड एज 6 एस्पेक्ट्स. तो उसका एक एक एस्पेक्ट लेकर के उनका थोड़ा थोड़ा डिस्क्रिप्शन दे दिया गया. मेनली डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया गया वंदे गुरु. तो गुरु इज ऑफ 2 टाइप्स. वन इज कौन सा? शिक्षा गुरु, दीक्षा गुरु. और फिर भगवान भी गुरु बने ब्रह्मा का, तो वो डिटेल्स हैं. फिर भक्त, 2 कैटेगरीज ऑफ भक्त. वन इज साधक एंड वन इज प्योर. And then Avatara, Amsha, Guna, Saktya, Vesh Avatar, varieties of Avatar are there. Then Prakasha, Prakasha means Nityananda Prabhu, and there is Vilasa. There are two types of things, Prakasha and Vilasa. So Prakasha is Prakash Vigraha and Vilas Vigraha. This is very details, you may not be able to appreciate it now, but Prakasha is Lord Krishna himself expanding like 60,108 forms, and Vilasa is a Lord expanding as Balaram. So that is Vilas Vigraha. Baldev, Narayan, Vaikuntha. So Lord is the same Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is not the same. The same, but he is not the same. That is Vilas. Then Shakti. So Shakti of the Lord is Lakshmi Shakti. Then Lakshmi Gana, Mahishi Gana, and Gopi Gana. Lakshmi Gana is the Lakshmi. Lakshmi is in Vaikuntha. Mahishi Gana is the queens in Dwarka, and Gopi Gana is the gopis of Braj. Having different levels of moods. And then the second verse we saw, Vande Krishna Chaitanya is Nityananda Sahodita, Gaudadev Pushpavanta. So each and every part of this verse was explained in details. Okay. So that was the first chapter. Now the second chapter is about what is the objective of this book. The objective of this book is very crystal clear. The objective of this book is what? Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. That is the objective of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very clear. So he goes, our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami goes into certain details and talks that how there is Brahman, beyond Brahman is Paramatma, higher than Paramatma is Bhagavan, and amongst Bhagavan, there is amongst Bhagavana, generally one understands the Bhagavana to be Narayana. But next he proves how Krishna is superior to Narayana, from the 10th canto verse. So Brahma himself explains how Narayana is your Amsha, and all the three Purusha avatars, that means Karanaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu, are nothing but the expansions. They are expansions of your potency only. And then that means the Lord Krishna's potency only, and ultimately Krishna himself is that one undivided absolute truth, and he is the ultimate reality. So which is, he is in the three features of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And Krishna is the source of all incarnations. जितने भी incarnations हुए हैं उनके भी source Krishna है. Then Krishna is shelter and abode of everything. He proves that, and further he goes into the three Shaktis, which also is a little technical, which I am already seeing devotees into ecstasy. So basically, he is concluding in this particular section in little technical ways how, not very technical, very easy to understand, but little technical, how Shri Krishna is the highest, and then he proves highest than whom. अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ हाईएस्ट, किससे किससे कंपेयर कर रहा हूँ, सबसे कंपेयर कर लिया अभी. And then he proves how Lord Chaitanya is Krishna. So thus, Krishna is the objective of this book, which is the highest. This is the second chapter. And then the third chapter is about the reasons of Lord Chaitanya's appearance, which we'll discuss into a little more detail. So let us go to Adi Lila, text number 1, chapter number 3. Adi Lila, chapter number 3, text number 1. Are you there? One. Adi Lila, chapter 3, text number 1. Shri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Yatpadashraya Viryatah Sangrinati Akara Vratan Agya Siddhanta Sanmani So this is how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins the chapter, which is filled with little details. So he tells you even a fool can collect the conclusive truths. So that means आप तो कर ही सकते हो, kind of. So by the potency, if you take shelter of the Lord, you can understand these concepts. If you don't take shelter of the Lord, nothing you'll understand. So then he talks about that Anarpita Chiranchirat. Again, this verse will come here, text number 4. And then he talks about how the Lord is contemplating after Lord Krishna disappears. Krishna is leaving this whole. So this is quite interesting. So Krishna's thought, who can share? कृष्ण क्या सोच रहे हैं? कहाँ पे? गोलोक में. गोलोक वृंदावन में जाने के बाद कृष्ण क्या सोच रहे हैं? Are you understanding? Who is having this capacity to reveal to you what is the thought process of Krishna? So Krishna is thinking. What exactly is Krishna thinking are in these pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he is, thinking that, oh, I have gone there and I have although done a huge amount of things, but I have not bestowed prema bhakti. Raja bhakti मैंने नहीं दिया. So there is Vaidhi bhakti very good, but that is having limitations. Vaidhi bhakti is having limitations. It does not attract Krishna. It is not having Vraj bhava. And the result of Vaidhi bhakti, one can go max to Vaikuntha with 4 types of liberations. That means Sarishti, Sarupya, Samipya and Salokya. Sayuja devotees don't want. तो ये चारों मिलके मैक्स टू मैक्स कहाँ जाएंगे? वैकुंठ में अटक जाएंगे. लेकिन मैं क्या करूंगा? आई विल इनॉग्रेट द युग धर्म ऑफ हरिनाम संकीर्तन, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आई विल मेक द होल वर्ल्ड डांस इन एक्सटेसी. पूरा का पूरा संसार डांस करेगा. जस्ट वंडर. And the MLA, the MP, the parliament, everyone raising their hands and dancing in ecstasy. The judges, the all the bade sethjis, all the aristocratic people who are wearing suitcases, who are holding suitcases and suit and boot, and dancing in ecstasy. This is what is the mood of Lord Krishna, who is incarnating as Lord Chaitanya. So he is saying, with this Nam Sankirtana, I will make the whole world dance and ecstasy. And this was to 5,000 years back when Krishna was there, and then 500 years back he's thinking like this before coming, and this had to wait for 450 more years, right? 450 more years before Srila Prabhupada came and actually did that for the world, right? So I shall inaugurate the Yoga Dharma of Nam Sangeeta and make the whole world dance in ecstasy, realizing the 4 higher rasas. That means Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. So then I will teach by my example. So although Krishna came to teach by his example, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to teach by his own example. And then my amshas and all that, they cannot establish the prema, vraj prema. They may establish yuga dharma. Yuga dharma, every yuga will have its own yuga dharma, main predominating incarnation, yuga avatara, but they cannot give vraj prema. Prema bhakti nahi de sakte wo. So any incarnation of Lord can inaugurate the prema, can inaugurate the yuga dharma, but cannot give the prema bhakti. So this vraj prema can only be given by Krishna himself, and especially in the mood of Lord Chaitanya. So Krishna personally also does not give vraj prema. He bothers about the people कि इनके पास नहीं है vraj prema, है ना? But Krishna wants to give vraj prema through Lord Chaitanya, and especially by the Panchatattva. Therefore, he thinks that I will appear in this earth as a devotee and I will perform wonderful pastime. I will attract all the devotees. And what is the time of his appearance? So Krishna appeared in Nadia early in the age of Kali. That means Paramasandhya. Paramasandhya means first part of the Kali Yuga. That's how Lord comes. So when the Lord comes, there are various things which are given here for this is the external reasons of Lord Mahaprabhu's descent, which are external reasons. What are the three external reasons we had discussed? To inaugurate the Yoga Dharma. Number two, Vaishuddha Vaja Bhakti. Number three, appeal of Advaitacharya. These are the three reasons because of which Lord comes. This particular chapter talks about the external reasons of Lord Chaitanya's descent. What is that? Anarpita Charim Shirat. Karunaya Avatirna Kalo. So in this Kali Yuga, he has come with this Anarpita, which was never given before, for long time, that he has come to give. And this is proved by various Shastric quotations also, like this Garga Muni predicts that in the Lord, when Garga Muni is doing Namkaran ceremony of Lord Krishna in the Goshala of Nanda Baba, there he tells that he takes colors. This boy takes colors: blue color, red color, yellow color. He tells. So what is this yellow color? That is Lord Chaitanya. And also it is given in 11th canto, 5th chapter, 27th verse, that Dwapare Bhagavan Smayah. So in the Dwapar Yuga, the Lord descends in the blackish hue, and in later he is dressed in yellow, and he is there too. This is the essence of statements in the Puranas and the literatures. And then it is told, the 40th verse of the third chapter talks about Kali Yuge Dharma Namera Prachar Tathi Lage Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatar. So for the Kali Yuga, for especially Namera Prachar, that's why he has come in the Pita Varna, yellow form, and his name is Chaitanya. So there are various bodily features of the Lord. What is his bodily feature? This is given in the 41st till 46th verse of third chapter of Adi Lila. So his luster is like molten gold, Gaura. His body is like enormous Prakand and measuring 4 cubits in height and width. Such a person is Mahapurusha. Like you go to Mayapur, that 87 feet high. So that's the actual size of life size when Mahaprabhu was there. That's how big he was. So currently, if someone is 7 feet high, is like, all the doors will be troubling him. That's how we are. So 7 feet high. He's and width also. He's not thick, but his hands were very, very long. You know this concept that the distance from this, if you stretch this, what? From this point till this point, is equals to from this point till the toe. Did you know this? You can do a measurement. So it's both the same. From this, when you stretch it, ye ungli se ye ungli tak is equals to this height to this height. That's how the body is built. So, but Mahapurusha body, it's 4 cubits high. That means his hands will reach the knees. Hands will reach beyond knees. That's how. Now, if you stand, then your hands will be just near the thighs. But for Mahapurusha, his hands will reach beyond the knees. So his arms are extending down to the knees. His voice is very deep, deep like thundering clouds. His eyes are like lotus flowers. His nose is like sesame flower. And this reminds me to give you some darshan of Lord Chaitanya. There is a deity of Lord Chaitanya which was made by Lord Chaitanya himself. And I will now show you that deity. See, same till. Till. Yeah. So this is how Lord Chaitanya, when he wanted to take sannyas, so he himself, when Vishnu Priya was shedding tears, you're going. So whom will I take darshan of? How will I survive? So Lord Chaitanya took a neem tree, and from that neem tree, he himself carved his own deity, and this is how he looked. Here we go. I continuous call. Yeah, this is how he looked. So he is having lotus eyes, golden form. See, and this is his beautiful form. This is Gyaneshwar Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu at Navadip. This deity was originally worshipped by Vishnu Priya Devi and the consort of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to local tradition, at the temple Dhameshwar, shortly before leaving home, taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu had this deity carved from the same neem tree under which he took birth. So Vishnu Priya worshipped this deity for 80 years and finally disappeared into this deity only. So this nose ring worn by Dhameshwar is said to have been worn by Vishnu Priya. So here you see this is one neem tree का log है, उससे ये carve किया हुआ है and पूरा yellow है cover. And this is how, so this is the lotus eyes. You see the lotus eyes that's extending till the ears. It's like lotus petal, it extends till the ears. This is the form of Lord Chaitanya. So his luster is like molten gold, his body is like 4 cubits, his arms are extending down to his knees, his voice is deeper, thundering of newly assembled clouds, his eyes are like lotus flowers, his nose is like sesame flower, his face is beautiful like the moon, Chaitanya Chandra, and decorations, he is anointed by sandalwood pearl, decorated with sandalwood bangles and armlets to dance in Shri Krishna Sankirtan. And the Lord is Shanta, peaceful, Danta, self-controlled. These are all qualities given in one verse. Krishna Bhakti Nishtha Pranayana, fully devoted to service of Krishna. He's Bhaktavatsala, affectionate to his devotees. Sushila, gentle, and Sarva Bhute Samaha. There is one more deity which is considered to be equal to that of, yeah, this is the one, Gauridas Pandit. This is the actual cutout of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which he himself used to original shoes. So this is the same temple, Dhameshwar, where he left home to take sannyas. Mahaprabhu gave a pair of his shoes to Vishnu Priya, whose original shoes worshipped by her and still carefully kept today at Dhameshwar Mahadev Mandap. Mandir Mandap. This is that shoes of Lord Chaitanya. You can take darshan. And this is the deities of Gauridas Pandit. So Indradanu Maharaj has been credited for this photograph. So what happened is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu were there and they wanted to go from Gauridas Pandit's house, but he did not want them to go. Then they carved a deity and they gave this deity to him, and they told that you serve them, they're not different than us. He was still very reluctant, deity you. So then they told, okay. So the deity, they remained there and the deity started walking. So then he kind of caught the deities back, brought them, and then the deities remained there and both Gaur Nita started walking. So then he requested them and they came back, and then the deity started walking. So, it was like going back and forth. And then ultimately, it is told that the deities walked away and Gaur Nitai remained there. So, this is that same Gaur Nitai. So, you can take darshan. This is the deities of Gauridas Pandit. So, this is how Gaur Nitai are visible. So, hands reaching till arm, knee, and very eyes are related like that. Lots of other soul stories given here. Okay, so this is how. So basically, Lord comes to give Kali Yuga Dharma, that is Harinam Sankirtan. So this particular reference is given in the Mahabharata, very important verse. Swarna Har Varna Hemango Varangas Chada Angani. And this is Adi Lila and Shesha Lila. Sannyasakrit Chamaha Shanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. So that Lord who appears as a householder in a golden form, and his limbs are very, very beautiful. His body is smeared with sandalwood pulp, seems like molten gold. Then he accepts sannyas and he is peaceful, and that is the highest abode. So this is pre-predicted in the Shastras. Similarly, this particular verse is there from Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Varnam Tusa Akrishnam Sangopangasta Parshadam Yajne Sankirtanah Prayar Yajanti Sumedesah. So Krishna Varna, that means Krishna is always in his mouth, and Krishna, he describes Krishna Varnan karte hain Krishna ka, always constantly describing Krishna Varnam. And then Tisha Akrishnam, so his complexion is not Krishna, that means not blackish, that means his complexion is golden, है ना. फिर Sangopangastra, so what are his weapons? His Parshad, he does not carry chakra, he does not carry gada, he does not carry a mace, he does not carry a sword. So his associates are his astra. So they will be the one, and what the astra has to do? The astra has to remove the ignorance of the heart of the living entities. So these are the associates of the Lord who remove the ignorance from the heart of the living entities. So when Srila Prabhupada was there in Bombay, he told the father of Mr. N.D. Desai, Srinathji Prabhu, Mr. Desai, who was the MP of India, member of parliament, that please give this Jai Pataka the Indian citizenship of India. He told why? Because he is a associate of Lord Chaitanya. So this was certified by Srila Prabhupada, that Srila Japataka Swami Maharaj is the associate of Lord Chaitanya. Sangopangastra Parshadam. So Parshad is the astra. And Prabhupada told there only that he will have 60,000 disciples. Now Maharaj's count is 57,700 something current. When I came to Krishna consciousness, that time it was 47,000, 45,000 or something. So Maharaj is going on and on, unstoppable. Recently completed Bhakti Vaibhav. क्या जरूरत है उनको कुछ to set an example for everyone to follow. So what is this devotees doing? Parshad, they are having the weapon of knowledge and removing the ignorance from within the heart of the devotee. And then Yajne Sankirtana Prayai, those who are actual intelligence, Sumedasa, they will do Sankirtan Yajna. And there are believers and non-believers, but the demons cannot know Krishna. Krishna cannot hide himself from the devotees. Those who are demons, they will never be able to understand Krishna. And those are devotees, Krishna, even if he tries, he cannot hide himself from them. So then the another reason for Lord Chaitanya's advent is the request of Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya does, he reads a particular verse from Gautamiya Tantra, one Shastra, and that verse is Tulsi Dalamatrena Jalasya Chulukena Vikrinite Swam Atmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. So simple way of pleasing Krishna is coming from Gautamiya Tantra. So what is the meaning? Not finding any way to repay the debt to one who offers him a tulsi leaf and water. Krishna liquidates the debt by offering himself to the devotee. जब एक भक्त एक छोटा सा शालिग्राम शिला में गंगा का जल, गोदावरी का जल और तुलसी का पत्र डालता है, तो वो जो कृष्ण ने वो ग्रहण किया, राइट, ही इज अनेबल टू रीपे द डेट. गंगा मेरे ऊपर डाला, तुलसी का पत्ता डाल दिया, he is unable to repay the debt. And being unable to repay the debt, Krishna offers himself. मैं तुम्हारा हूं, जाओ, क्या करना है बोलो, जो हुक्म मेरे आका. So this is, reading this verse, Advaitacharya does this service to the Chulaki, Chulukinova, मतलब एकदम जरा सा पानी, बहुत सारा पानी नहीं डालना है, थोड़ा सा पानी और थोड़ा सा तुलसी से ही भगवान स्वयं प्रसन्न हो जाते हैं. क्योंकि जो भी ऑफरिंग करता है वो भगवान को ये ऑफर करता है ना. भगवान को हम घंटी बजाते हैं, पानी देते हैं और तुलसी देते हैं. लेकिन ये गौतम तंत्र का वर्ष है, इतना देने से भगवान बोलते हैं मैं आपका, आई हैव नथिंग टू, आई एम कंप्लीटली इंडेटेड, पूरा का पूरा कर्ज में डूब गया, इसलिए मुझे खुद को देना पड़ रहा है कि नहीं. सो दिस इज एनीवन हु डज ऑफरिंग, इट्स अ फैक्ट. So this is Chaitanya avatar has happened with this mukhya hetu, bhakter ichhaya avatar dharma setu. So Chaitanya avatar a mukhya hetu. This is the mukhya hetu for avatar of Chaitanya. What are the three mukhya hetus? External reasons. Number one is Kali Yuga. The dharma of Kali Yuga has to be established. Sangapangastha Parshadam. And then Vraja Bhakti, because he is wondering, oh, Krishna is wondering that I have come and gone, but people are still bothering about I, me, mine, wife and children, my 2 BHK, my 4 BHK. What is happening? No one is surrendered to me. So I think I only have to go and I have to give them Vraja Prema, and then only they will come back to me. So this is the second of the three external reasons. Third external reason is this particular call of our Lord Advaitacharya, that oh, these people are all very, very aristocratic and very, very, very scholarly at Navadip, but they are all fools because they are not worshipping Lord Vishnu. So understanding this, the Lord requesting on his request, the Lord appears. So we could successfully cover, first, second, third chapter overview, and then we could also kind of cover chapter number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4th, 5th and 6th. Fifth actually I will not cover because that is Nityananda Tattva. I have already done that Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day. And 6th chapter is Advaita Tattva, which is not very long chapter, but still it is all about Dasya Bhav, which I have also covered in Advaitacharya's appearance day. So what remains is chapter number 4. Now chapter number 4 is very esoteric, and it's all about the internal reason of Krishna's appearance. What was internal mood of Lord Chaitanya because of which he appeared? Why Krishna is unable to understand what is going on in the heart of Srimati Radharani, and he wants to take that one mood and experience that bliss, that prema of separation, love in separation with the Lord Krishna. So Krishna is wanting to experience separation from Krishna. How is this possible? This is possible when Krishna comes in the form of Lord Chaitanya. So when Krishna experienced that separation from Krishna in the life of Lord Chaitanya. So that is what is the whole thing, and that's the reason he comes to Jagannath Puri. He does not go to Vrindavan, he comes to Jagannath Puri because that's the Vipralamba Kshetra, love of separation Kshetra. This is the highest of all, and we are not having capacity to describe more about it. So thus the rest of the things of the Adi Lila, that is from the 13th chapter till the 17th chapter, is the various pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in kind of his advent, then his childhood pastimes, his Poganda Lila pastimes, his Kaumari Lila pastimes, and then his pastimes in the youth, and gets married, and also just before sannyas. That is the Adi Lila 17th chapter. That's 5 chapters. Krishna will discuss from 13th chapter onwards next time when we meet. So stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Kesavan Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hare Krishna.